Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's podcast. Today we have a special episode called The Number One Secret to Becoming Rich. And it's not coming from me. It's coming from somebody who actually is like super rich. So we'll be covering that on today's episode. This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Ewell. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Today, we have a special lesson for you. I'm putting it here on the podcast because I really believe that this is going to provide you massive value, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And hey, listen, if this podcast was useful to you at all, I really highly suggest that you go check out the full trading course at aistocktradingsystem.com. That's aistocktradingsystem.com. Markets are people. People are predictable. Outlier can show you how to track market fear and greed with artificial intelligence on over 1,300 of the largest market cap names. Visit outlier.com to learn more. That's OVTLYR.com. They have a free pilot program for the rest of 2021, so you can get access to right now at OVTLYR.com. That's OVTLYR.com. Hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we give you more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter every single week. Hey there, traders. Okay, so today we're going to be learning the number one secret to becoming rich. Now, I have not watched this. This is going to be a cold watch for me, but I love giving these commentary videos because it's totally fair use because of YouTube's terms to do commentary videos, and I actually think these are really useful, so we're going to continue to do so. Today, this episode is about a video called The Number One Secret to Becoming Rich by Chamath Palihapitiya. Now, the funny thing is I know of this person, but I had no idea how to say his name. So I actually Googled how to say Chamath Palihapitiya. And there's a YouTube video that's just Chamath Palihapitiya for like 30 seconds. And I was like, wow, this is incredibly useful. I'm glad this is on YouTube's. So anyway, with that being said, let's learn from Chamath Palihapitiya the number one secret for becoming rich.
Slow and steady against hard problems. Start by turning off your social apps and giving your brain a break. Because then you will at least be a little bit more motivated to not be motivated by what everybody else fucking thinks about.
That's interesting. So turn off your socials. Socials can be really toxic. I agree with that. So you've got to be really selective with this. Yeah, I agree with that.
My name is Apurv. I saw some of the venture world at SoftBank, some of the tech world, and you said something about amassing capital. Today, what do you think is one of the best ways for us to amass capital on a risk-adjusted basis?
Hey, I'd love to amass some capital.
The last part is just such a sellout part. A risk-adjusted base. I don't know, fucking buy some bonds? I don't know.
That's very funny.
Here's what I would tell you, man. I think if you ask me who's building the most important, indelible company in the world, I've been very public about this, I think it's Jeff Bezos. Part of what he realized was the value of slow compounding. So here's my little theory about company value creation. The faster you build it, that is the half-life. It will get destroyed in the same amount of time.
Ooh.
And so when you think about a lot of like social businesses, that's played out.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so he's not talking so much about investing. He's talking about entrepreneurship. But the half-life being as fast as it grows, as fast as it goes down, oof.
But
I don't like that.
When you see sort of like what the top, so like, does it take 8, 9, 10 years to build a really great consumer business? It'll take 8, 9, 10, 12 years to destroy it.
Okay. I hear what he's saying. He's not saying that you can't grow something quickly that's successful. He's saying that it takes time to grow something that is successful long term. But you find something like Clubhouse that grew up really fast and is also now crashing really fast. I get where he's coming from now.
And we may see the tipping point on a couple of these businesses. Right now, we may be seeing it in front of our eyes, regulatory or otherwise. So why is that an important statement?
I'm still looking for the number one secret to becoming rich.
Amassing capital to me is about finding a smart, useful solution to a very hard, practical problem and being slow and methodical. And again, this is what I'm saying. You have to rewire your brain for that to be okay. How do you, in year 2, or year 5, come back to this room for your, what is it called when you get reunion? And say, I'm still working on the same thing. And when somebody says, and how's it going? You have the courage to say, it's hard.
Interesting. Relating this to trading, we can consider when you are learning to trade, paying your Wall Street tuition as you make those losses. We can consider that the time spent getting an education, just like if you were to go to university or anything like that. I think that that's where he's going with here is first, he's got a really chill vibe. So I'm trying to bring it up a little bit. But second, understanding that it takes time to be successful in entrepreneurship and investing and trading. And you can't just rush into something, because if you rush into something, that could go away just as fast.
But if you figure it out and you have this moderate growth, moderate compounding, that is the key. That is that.
Moderate growth.
I look at our returns, and it's so funny because it's you can get so enthralled by IRRs in our business. And I have friends who run other organizations, and they're like, we posted 92% IRR. And I'm like, well, you can't eat IRR. What does it really mean? And when you unpack it, what you realize is fast money returns can completely really decay long-term thinking and sound judgment. And so I'm like, wow, I would really...
Okay. Let's unpack that. Fast money returns can let's do that again.
Completely really decay long-term thinking and sound judgment.
Can decay long-term thinking and sound judgment. He doesn't want to be a trader then. Not the way that we kind of trade. Interesting. Can really decay long-term thinking and sound judgment. Okay.
And so I'm like, wow, I would really love to just compound at 15% a year.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty spectacular.
Because if I can do that for 50 years,
yeah,
$250 billion, some crazy number. It's just enormous. So it's slow and steady against hard problems.
Okay, I see where he's going. Okay.
Start by turning off your social apps and giving your brain a break. Because then you will at least be a little bit more motivated to not be motivated by what everybody else fucking thinks about.
Okay. And going back to his point there, the 15% returns over your lifetime can be astronomical when compounded. But if you are comparing yourself to the next person who had a 92% return, it's very possible that the following year they didn't have a strong methodology, and then they have a 92% loss. I've heard about that plenty of times.
It's hard. Think about how all this stuff plays together. How does trying to get, posting your fucking waffles online relate to me starting a business and accumulating capital? This is wiring your brain for super fast feedback. It's the same brain you're using to build a company. Don't think they're not the same. Do you know what I'm saying? No? Yes? No? Yes.
I could use some more insight, personally.
You have one brain. So you're training your brain here, whether you think it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not. Acknowledge that these things where you're spending hours a day are rewiring your psychology and physiology in a way that now you have to use to go and figure out how to be productive in the commercial world. So if you don't change this, you are going to get the same behaviors over here. Change this. There's a reason why Steve Jobs was anti-social media. I am telling you I'm not on these fucking apps. I'm not him by any stretch of the imagination. But I am proactively trying to rewire my brain chemistry to not be short-term focused. I'm telling you they're linked.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. So, here's my takeaway on that. Continue on your passion, pushing it forward, but don't compare yourself to others because A, you're not in their shoes, and B, if they're having these lucky streaks, you could call it that, there's all the chance in the world that they could have a very unlucky streak and just be down and out and washed up. But he's also saying on the social media front, which we talk about on occasion here, the instant gratificationness of that is teaching your brain to continue to seek instant gratification because you're looking at it so often that it's going to change the way that you respond to how you run your business or how you run your trading, because you're going to be looking for it in the waffle aspect, like he was talking about there. But when it doesn't happen like that, you may make decisions that hurt you in the long run. So what's the number one secret for becoming rich, which was the title of the video? I think it's patience. I think that's what he's saying. Patience and perseverance. So there you go. The number one secret to becoming rich is patience and perseverance. Listen, I hope you found that useful, and thanks for tuning in to watch this. Make sure you share it with somebody who would also learn from this. And make sure you subscribe and enable notifications. That way you never miss any of the tools, tips, and tricks that we upload every single week to help you trade faster and trade smarter. I'll see you on the next episode. Okay, so what'd you think? That was pretty incredible, right? Now, if you like that, that's only a taste, only a sample of what you're going to find in the full AI stock trading system. And I really highly encourage you to go and check this out. Obviously, you are interested in learning and how to trade, and that's why you're listening to this podcast. Now, I'm going to take and download my entire trading system that I use day in and day out onto you. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is over at the AIStockTradingSystem.com. You're going to get phase 1, 2, and 3, several bonuses, and on top of that, I'm going to walk you through over a dozen trades that I put on inside of my account, holding your hand and showing you exactly how I got in, how I got out, how I use the artificial intelligence data, and how this could work inside of your own trading portfolio on a daily basis. So make sure you head on over to AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com to learn more and to get started and to download my decade plus worth of trading experience into your hands so you can start using the AI stock trading system today, the 5-step system to take the guesswork out of trading. Hey, if you like this video, let me know by leaving me a like below, and then subscribe and share it with somebody you think could use it as well. Be sure to comment below with your biggest takeaway from this episode and any suggestions you have for future episodes. And finally, make sure you watch these other videos to help you trade faster and trade smarter, and I'll see you on the next episode.